Hello, everyone. My name is Nick Infernus, and welcome to the first episode of Comic Book Reviews. Excuse me while I change that. Yes, of course. All right. Yes, welcome to the first episode of Comic Book Reviews. I know I called it Comic Book Quickies in the update that I posted earlier. Um, I learned after uploading that quickies meant something completely wrong. Do not look that up. I do not suggest it, but just know I had to change the name, and right now, Comic Book Reviews is kind of just what I'm running with right now. That's the prototype name until I come up with something better, at least better than Quickie. So, and also as I teased in that update, episode number 1 is Thor: Love and Thunder, movie that I saw about 7.5 hours ago, and personally, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good entry into the MCU and to Phase 4. Not top 3, maybe top 5 if Miss Marvel doesn't push it out. But overall, I thought this was a fun one. And before I start talking about what's good and bad about it, I will just say this movie just came out like 2 days ago. So if you haven't seen it, go see it and then watch this video because spoilers inbound. So, what's good about this movie? Well, first of all, I would just like to say that I am so glad that they don't waste Lady Sif like they wasted the Warriors 3 in Ragnarok. Like, yeah, she doesn't get on the action that much, but at least she's still alive, and the only real damage is just a missing arm. So at the very least, we could potentially see her in series going forward. Now, along with that, that's a very minor thing. A major thing is that this is in competition with Ant-Man for the funniest movie in the MCU. I did not know that was possible, but it is because a lot of the humor in here made both me and the audience laugh quite a bit. I do also think that Jane's plotline was handled very well. There's the whole thing about, oh, Jane Foster becoming Thor, she's got superpowers. It's like, I know that's kind of a controversial thing. I didn't mind it since I knew it was something from the comics. The part that I was a bit concerned about was just the fact that, in the comics, she was, diagnosed with cancer. And I know that cancer is a very tough subject for a lot of people, especially with the recent passing of Technoblade. So I was a bit worried with how they'd handle that, or even if they did do it, if it would just be like a thing in passing. Thankfully, they do take it seriously. It's like you do have Thor telling Jane's like, please be careful with Mjolnir because I can tell that when you use it, it drains your energy and all that. And even when she brings it up to him, like halfway through the movie, even though she does kind of bring it up out of nowhere, like every little bit of humor is kind of just dropped because like Thor realizes that's a serious situation. And I mean, it does end up taking her life, but it is a nice moment knowing that she got to spend the last moments with the one she loves. And of course, the post-credit scene where she ends up in Valhalla and she's there with Heimdall. That was just a great scene. That's probably my favorite scene in the whole movie, and it's a post-credit scene. And lastly, thing I'm going to talk about here with the pros is just that I love gore. I thought that not like Gore. I mean GORR, Gore the God Butcher. Christian Bale does a really good job in the role. He can be very creepy, very sinister, but also feel very lighthearted at times, even though he's still scary as hell. Like that's another thing. Whenever he shows up, it's like all the life gets drained out of the scene, and it's just darkness, and I love that. I know some people had issues with like the tonal inconsistencies of stuff. Here, I find it more forgivable than the first Thor because you have a villain that warrants that. And I mean, yeah, maybe he is in the wrong movie, but I'm fine with him being in this one because like you don't want it to be too lighthearted. You gotta have an MCU film where you take it at least a little bit seriously. so I didn't mind that much. Now, keep in mind these reviews are pretty short, so I do have like a short list of stuff I liked and stuff I didn't like. As for the stuff I didn't like, even though I like the humor in this movie, conceptually, it's dumb as hell. A lot of the humor is just, like Thor doing split kicks, like screaming goats. Like, seriously, I thought the screaming goat meme died so long ago. Why is it back? And then these goats are going to be in the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, and I am not looking forward to that. What else was like some dumb stuff? Oh, yeah, some of the stuff with Korg was kind of dumb. Oh, the I will say one bit of humor that wasn't dumb. If you remember from the trailers, uh, when Zeus flicked away Thor's disguise, he accidentally flicked away everything, so you had naked Thor and the butt was censored out. Yeah, that butt is uncensored in the movie. So if you want a good dose of Chris Hemsworth ass, you're in for a treat. Not that I'm into that, but just saying. And the other real major thing that I felt was a bit iffy, at least to me, was that when you get to the final battle and Thor is giving the power of Thor to a bunch of kids, I don't know, from there, it just felt a little bit unbelievable that he would have the kids be his army when fighting Gore's shadow monsters. Like, to me, I don't think that fits very well because, like, that's a Deus Ex Machina. And that's not the kind of cliche that you want to have in your story. That's like the fake out death. And while I absolutely believe Gore wishing for eternity to bring back his daughter, I do find it a bit hard to believe that Thor. Okay, well, I guess it's not too hard to believe that Thor would be willing to adopt Gore's daughter and keep her safe. But it's like it just happens a bit too quickly for my taste. But overall, while I wouldn't consider this nearly as good as Ragnarok, this is definitely better than the first movie and absolutely better than The Dark World. Overall, final rating is a 3.5 out of 5. Fits very well into the very enjoyable category, has some issues that holds it back, but overall, it's just a good time. If you want another feel good MCU film, here you go. Just make sure you're going in expecting a fun, dumb comedy. And yeah, that's it. That's the first comic book review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, I'm not going to bore you with the generic stuff. You know what to do. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.